Hi there, and thank you for tuning in by the fire. It's a nice ambiance here now that it is the holidays, and it's now the time to be with family. Unfortunately, due to COVID-19 restrictions, you can never go see your family ever again. That got dark. Anyway, I'm offering the best solution that I can right now, and that's to talk about family. Talking about our inner roots, where we're from, why did we come here, and some secrets that we find along the way. Right here, I have a super authentic book from Ancestry.com. Definitely not my checkbook, no need to worry, it's all here. Now let's take a deep dive into my family's history and the secrets that lies within. Thanks to Ancestry.com, I can now unveil those secrets to you. Let's read. It was Christmas morning of 2017. 15-year-old PJ was eager to find out what was in his last Christmas present. Okay, I'm tired of reading. Let's just talk from the first person, shall we? I opened up my Christmas present and I found out that it was an Ancestry DNA test. For the past few years, my grandma was seeing a lot of advertisements about Ancestry.com and how you can find secret lineages. I thought it was just like a marketing tactic, Oh, you can find a secret relative that you never knew existed. Oh, wow, that's definitely gonna happen. Well, my grandma kind of fell into that demographic that would be interested in that. So she bought the entire family an Ancestry DNA test.
Everybody in the audience, now listen to me carefully, is being given a special package, and I don't want you to open it. Do not open it. Cameras are on you, so do not open until I tell you.
Everyone was kind of, thinking, oh, okay. I mean, we have it here, might as well try it. So we all took the test. They all came in about a few weeks later saying, we were German, Irish, Polish, all sorts of white, And after a few years, we were letting it sit, we really didn't think anything of it. Well then, out of nowhere, all of us see on the list of family members, since it's all connected, we can see each other, we found a person named Joe Hansen. No one knew who that was. No one has ever talked about or to Joe Hansen, let alone actually knowing someone of that name. We were all curious. We were wondering, who could this be? According to Ancestry.com, it tells me that personally, Joe Hansen is one of a second to first cousin of mine. So I thought, okay, interesting, but there's really no information to go off of that. However, for my grandma and her sister Nancy, we have found out that Joe Hansen is either a first cousin or a half brother. Now we thought that was pretty interesting. So my dad decided to do an internal investigation on how this could be possible and who Joe Hansen actually is. Now, Ancestry.com does give you an option to email a person that is in your bloodline, which I thought was pretty interesting. So my dad emailed Joe Hansen, but we never got anything back. And it seemed like the investigation would end there. Well, my dad was very determined, so he decided to call every single Joe Hansen that he could find. Wow. It took my dad about a couple weeks to call, all about 20 Joe Hansens that we could find. And on the last one, it seemed like we had our Joe. My dad asked this Joe Hansen, who would be around 70 to 80 years old right now, to check his email. And, 70 or 80-year-olds, they don't know how to use email. So my dad was going through the steps on how to, access an email, look at your inbox, all things like that. And this Joe, he says, "Oh yeah, I got a message from Jeff Spitzer about a week ago." And my dad, who's Jeff Spitzer, sat in disbelief for a few moments, and he flat out said, "I think you're my half-uncle." As the discussion continued, my dad found out that, believe it or not, my great-grandfather had, my great-grandfather, say he was fooling around. The guy was fooling around apparently. Wow. And he had a secret kid. We don't know if he knew that he did or not, but wow, we found out that Wow. I have a great uncle that I never knew of. Okay, it's just hitting me now. I mean, I've known about this for about a year or so, but it's still crazy to think that with Ancestry, with the DNA that we have, DNA testing that we have now, that we could find stuff like this out. I mean, with all the details that we have now, we found out that my grandma's dad had an affair with his secretary and had an illegitimate son. And we also found out that that son was friends with my aunt when they were kids. And they were half siblings and they didn't know it. They didn't know it. And apparently, my Uncle Joe, he lived most of his entire life not knowing who his true father was. He believed that the secretary's husband was his dad, and obviously that wasn't the case. Well, one thing's for sure, we definitely underestimated the abilities of Ancestry.com. I mean, it's really profound, you know? It's crazy to believe that we could find information like this now. Well, good news for me is that I have 6 more cousins that I've never talked to, and I probably should get on that. Moral of the story is, you never know what your family history could entail until you actually get the stone cold proof. There could still be many things that I don't know about my family, and that soon could be uncovered based upon new technology, so... One second. And this concludes Story Time with PJ Spitzer. We thank you for tuning in, and we hope that you learned something here today. And as they do say, peace out. What am I doing? Woo!